In today's live, we're going to talk about food, more specifically, diet conversion. That's what it was voted for. Now, before I get into the subject, I need to make sure I don't move too much. I just saw that it's making my whole setup move a little bit. I'm still figuring out this whole setup thing. I have changed the layout of my bird room. There's some things that are changing in my home. The budgies are out, so you might see them fly around. I have baby blue, whoops, right there. So they're calling each other because I have tip fluff in the front here on the play stand. Anyways, so before I get into the subject, because there's still nobody on the live yet, so and I'm gonna keep that live as a video later on. Hopefully you hear me well because my birds are like losing their mind a little bit. I feel. Oh wait, my microphone is a little bit upside down here. Okay, I guess that's fine. I'm still adjusting to this whole life thing. This is only my third one, and I hope you enjoy those. All right, so before I start into the food and the diet conversion, I want to talk about a little bit of the live work. So every Saturday, 10 to 10:30, I'm gonna go live and talk about a specific topic that I will ask my subscribers to vote for. So I put on either Thursday or Friday a poll under the post tab in my YouTube channel. I put a poll with 3 different topics that to choose from, what I would be talking about. And I also post the same poll on my Instagram page, so the Annie's Flock Instagram page. If you're not following me on there, you want to check out in the description box of the live or the replay, because all the links are there. And I do put the poll in my Instagram story as well for you to vote. So this week, we're talking about food and more specifically diet conversion. So this, I'm not going to go over necessarily in details of what I feed my birds, because I want to focus a little bit more on the conversion side of it. So I'm assuming that if you're listening to this and you made it this far, you're interested into diet conversion. So meaning your bird is currently, oh, I really hope you guys can hear me well because my birds are very chatty this morning. I still haven't figured out where's the best place to do those lives. I'm still, bear with me here. They'll get better and better as we go, hopefully. All right, so yes, sorry, I digress here. So if you're looking at this live, I'm assuming that your bird might be on a full seed diet. And now you have done some research and you realize, oh, that's not supposed to be. So now how do I change the diet to a better diet? So I'm telling you what I do with my flock, which is mostly what people do as well, what birds need. I'm not a vet. So I'm going in general. So if your bird is older or have some issues and your vet is telling you you need a specific diet, then go for that. I'm just saying, like, generally speaking, this is what you want. So you want to have your bird eat veggies. So a mix, like a chop of veggies, mostly, and then you want to have veggies and legumes as well, a little bit and a little bit of grain. But And then you want to give them healthy pellets and seeds and nuts would be only for training purposes. Or if you're not training, you can also use them for enrichment, like foraging. For example, my birds, they do all get a little bit of a seed mix. No sunflower seeds, though. That is only for training purposes, but safflower seeds like millets and stuff like that. And it's very little. Like I want to say my Indian ringneck and my conure, they both get like half a teaspoon and they're all in foraging toys. So they have to work a little bit harder to get them. And those foraging toys are not like super easy access. Sometimes they have to like hold on to the toy to like dig in. And so I'm having them to work a little bit harder for them. And then, yeah. So, and then my budgies for both of them, they get maybe like a tablespoon and a half for both of them. And budgies, especially in my big flight cage here, they do fly a lot. So, they need a little bit more of that, fat in their diet, but it's very minimal compared to the chops that I'm giving them and the pellets. So I just want to show you, I'm not going to go deep in the diet and especially not with the chop, but I just want to show you what I use because there's lots of pellets that are not healthy. What I will say regarding pellets, I would completely discard anything that is colored. Like all these pellets that are colored, different colors, they're not healthy. Like just remove those from your options. I would not go there. Now, what I use is the Tops Parrot Food pellet. I have it right here. I mean, it's a big bag because I use the same for all my birds. It's organic. And it's organic. There's no GMO, no artificial flavors or colors. It's cold press, so it's not cooked or baked or whatever. So there's the maximum nutrition in there. Yeah, it's very and I use this big size, and I even use those for my budgies. Are they back in their cages? Missing one. I don't know where Baby Blue is. Baby Blue. Yeah, I'm not sure where he is, but that's fine. He'll come back. So if you've been following Annie's vlog, you know that I had cats. So as always, I had to be really, really on the lookout. My cats are gone now. They live with my daughter, so I don't have that issue anymore. So that's kind of cool. So it really doesn't matter where he is at this point. Oh, he's back there. Okay. Because I don't have the cats anymore, and my home is pretty bird proof anyways. Okay, so let's go back to the pellets here. It's the big format, even if it says it's for macaws. They have different sizes. Macaws, African Greys, Cockatoos, Amazon, and Eclectus. I use this because first, I don't have to buy smaller bags all the time. I just buy the big one. And it's like a cold, I have some here. I don't want to open the bag, but it's cold press. I'll show you here. And so it's super easy to just chew on. And yeah, so the budgies, they have absolutely no issues to eat those. And then, I mean, obviously Olive, she literally take those and eat them with her claws. It's so cute. Anyway, so that's what I use. I'm not saying you should use that one, but I like this one. And the other reason why I like this one, I'll show you, is because it helps for diet conversion as well. just going to take a little sip of water here. Okay. So first off, there's so many different ways of converting your all seed diet bird. I don't know if that's a sentence, but there's a lot of different ways to do that. And I think it kind of depends on where you are with your bird. So what I mean by that, what's the situation? Did you just get your bird? Is it a baby bird, or did you just adopted your bird, but it's an adult bird? And or did you have that bird for a very long time? And then you just realize that, oh my God, I am not, like, this bird is not healthy. I need to or whatever the case may be, you have to change the diet, and you don't know where to start. So I think those are like the three different types. I mean, there's other situations, but I think those are the main one. Now, let's start with you just got your bird, or you're about to adopt a new bird, and you want to make sure they're on a good diet, because either they were not on a good diet, or you just want to go with your own thing, whatever the case may be, or they were on this all seed diet and you want to change that. But the idea here is that it's a new bird. You're about to adopt a bird, or you just got the bird. Now, it kind of depends also on the age of that bird. So if it's a baby, I would highly recommend to ask the breeder where, just give me 1 second, I need to look at, I'll be right back. I need to look at Lucy because she's going towards the plot. You go over there. And Lucy doesn't like other birds, and she's a little bit territorial over her cage because she used to be a breeding bird. So the last thing I want is her to bite one of the budgies toe off. Yeah, I don't know if that was a good idea to do the live with the budgies out, but we'll see. Maybe I'm going to be a little bit distracted. I'm just really excited that I can get the budgies outside of their cages more often now that I don't have the cats. That's all. So I'm just excited about this. Anyways, what was I saying? Yes. So if you have a baby bird, I would highly recommend to look with the breeder, because if you have if you're adopting a baby bird from a breeder, what happens usually is you're going to get the bird as soon as the bird is weaned, meaning doesn't have to get fed with baby formula or whatever, like they eat on their own. So what you want, because baby diet is different from an adult diet, they do need more fatty food, if that makes sense. So I would highly recommend to look with, what's the recommendation from the breeder, and then slowly, and you go with that, and then slowly when they get towards adulthood, then you want to slowly convert to a more like regular healthy diet for an adult bird, for many reasons, but hormonal reasons, so that when they get into adulthood, they're not so triggered, because diet will trigger hormonal behavior. So you don't want to go like full on into that. And then also obviously for health reasons, so that your bird doesn't get overweight. Now, if you are adopting a new bird, or you just receive a new bird, but this bird is an adult, that's a different story. You right away want to give them the best diet you can. Now, what I've done, if I had a new bird, I would do it differently than what I've done with Lucy. So what I've done with Lucy is, when I adopted her, she was about 7 years old. He gave, like, the breeder gave me a bag of food that what he was feeding her with, and there was peanuts in there, dry fruits, lots of seeds and nuts in there. Anyway, it was basic, and then a little bit of pellets. I don't even know what type of pellets was in there, but there was a lot of junk in there. That was she was used to eat for years. So I got a little bit not scared, but I was so focused on, well, first off, I could not handle her at all. What's really important when you do a diet conversion is you have to weight your bird every single day to make sure that your bird doesn't lose weight too drastically or too much. Now, I could already see that she was chubby when I first got her. Yeah, she wasn't able to like move around really well. She was really chubby. So I knew that already, but I wasn't able to weight her because I couldn't handle her. I couldn't do anything with her. She was a breeding bird. So she was just in her cage making babies. She had no interaction with humans other than being trapped in a net to be moved from one cage to another one. Like it was, anyways, it wasn't a good situation. I'm not judging. I just think some breeders that's how they do it, whatever. Anyways, so because I couldn't weight her at all, I didn't want her to lose too much weight and too fast. And I was really focused on making sure I was finding the right treat to be able to interact with her. So what I did is I took that. So the first day she just had her food, whatever he gave me. And then slowly I was introducing my pellets part of this. So every day I was removing a little, anyways, it was a very long process. And the chop, I started right away because he told me that she was already eating veggies, which I don't know, because even the veggies, it was a little bit hard. But that was my experience. Now that I've went through this, and what I came to realization is that, and I heard this from other people as well, is that when you have a new bird, when you adopt a new bird, you have no history with that bird, and that bird has no idea. Everything is new. People are new. The environment is new. Everything is new. Their cage is new. Their toys, everything is new. So they don't have expectations right away. It's just breaking their routine anyways, because yes, birds they can be really anchored in their routine. And I will talk about this a little bit later when you do a diet conversion with a bird that you own for a while. But when you adopt a bird, they're brand new with you, starting from scratch. So what I would do differently now is I would right away, day one, go with the diet that I give to all my birds. So, meaning in the morning, they would get the same chop. So they would get that chop. Personally, I use the seasonal feeding system from Bird Tricks. Shout out to Bird Tricks. I think it's a great idea. It's just easy for me. I make a big batch and it's great. Anyways, so I would give them the chop in the morning, and then during the diet conversion, I find it important to always have food in their cage so that it's always accessible. And then I would give pellets for the rest of the day. Now, from there, I would look at what is the bird eating. If they're eating both, great. If they're eating just the chop, not touching the pellets, then the chops, that's perfect. They're eating the chops, they like this. Now we need to work on the pellets. So a couple of things you can do with this. So what I like about those pellets that I just showed you, the Tops Parrot Food, is that at the end, I don't know if you can see this. Oh, you can see this, yeah. Do you see how this is like a powder, right? There's always at the bottom of the bag, because it's cold pressed, there's always leftover powder. And this can be used in different things. I use this to remove the mushiness in the chop. So I mix it a little bit in the chop. Now, you can use this to have your bird slowly have the taste of the pellets. So you can add this a little bit to the chop so that they can taste the pellets, right? The other thing you can do is use the food that they because when you adopt a bird, usually they tell you what they're giving, or they give you a little sample of what they're eating or whatever. If it's like whatever seed mix they're eating, and then you can put just a little powder, a little bit of pellets in the seed mix, and then they eat this. And then as you go, you progressively put more pellets and less of the seed mix until they actually eat just the pellets. There's other ways, like you can, I know the Bird Tricks, they in their cookbook, they have like a recipe to do birdie bread with the pellets. I never had to do it because my birds, they love those pellets. But this specifically, well, it's their brand, but I know it's pretty close to what Top's Parrot Food is making. So you can use that as well if you're using that. Because so they're in the US, right? I'm in Canada. So, and they don't ship outside of US, so I couldn't even buy them. So if you're in the same situation as me, you're not in the States, so you can't buy their food, then Tops is pretty close to the Bird Tricks food. Anyways, so yeah, so focus on slowly converting, and consistency is very important. Now, if the other way around, they eat the pellet, they don't eat the chop at all, then same thing, you can add a little bit of the powder in the pellet. You can sprinkle a little bit of seed mix over the chop. There's also what I like is flax seed. So it's ground flaxseed that you can also mix with the chop. It gives a nutty flavor. It's really good. There's a lot of omega-3s in there, and it removes, same thing, the mushiness from the chop because I froze mine, so the chop gets a little bit mushy when, yeah. So those are different things you can do with the chop. You can add, if they like sweet potatoes, you can add sweet potatoes in it for a little while, and then you reduce the amount of sweet potatoes. You can use egg cook, so hard-boiled egg, and use just the yolk, so the yellow part, that you can mix with the chop as well, and slowly you fade that out. If your bird really likes cooked pasta, you can also add this and then slowly remove the pasta from the recipe. There's all kinds of little tricks that you can add to the chop to slowly have them to like it. Now, if they really don't like the texture or whatever the case may be, you can try pieces of veggies and then slowly having the pieces chopped down to smaller, if it's a question of the texture that they don't like. So the idea is to transition slowly, and then to consistency. Be really consistent and don't give up. Okay, now my last point, because we have only 5 minutes left. Oh my God, this is a big subject. If you had a bird for a while and you want to change the diet because you've been using seed, and now you realize, I'm doing this wrong, I need to change that. I want to say, you have to do this very slowly. So take it slow and make sure, in any cases, make sure you weight your bird. If you see that your bird is actually losing too much weight and too fast, then you want to revert back, right? So you want to change a little bit, put a like play around with the portions of seeds, pellets, and chop. So if your bird, you have, because because you have your bird for a while, now this is their routine. This is what you've been giving them for years or months. So they're used to that. So in my opinion, it's a little bit more difficult to break that routine and to have them fed something else because you were giving them something already. I would say choose one and convert one at a time. So I would say, I think personally that the most important thing is the veggies. Your bird needs fresh vegetables in their diet. It's very important. So I would start with that. Start with introducing fresh veggies, either big pieces or chop. Try different things. And then you'll see maybe they'll like a little bit more when it's really chopped fine, or sorry, if it's really chopped fine, or if it's bigger, and then you can play around with it. And then same thing, use your seed mix that you already have, and then mix it up a little bit with your chop. But I want to say consistency. It's gonna take time, and I'm not talking about days. It can be weeks, it can be months. So yes, you will feel for a while that you're doing all this work and then nothing is happening and nothing is changing. But I promise you, it will change. So my budgies, when I adopted them, they were on a full seed diet from the pet store, and I kept them on the full seed diet for a few months because I didn't really know any better until I decided to change. It took months to be able to have them eat fresh veggies. I tried different things, having pieces of veggies between bars, like so many different things that I tried. Sprinkle a little bit of seeds on top of the chop. I tried big pieces of veggies, big pieces of lettuce, or all kinds of herbs and all kinds of things that I could have them to eventually eat something. And then slowly I started to chop them, put them in little containers, and sprinkle a little bit of millet on top of it, like things that they really liked. And that way, very slowly, I've been able to have them to eat chops. And then from there, I did the same thing. When this was done, I did the same thing with the pellets to give them better, like good pellets, part of their mix. It took months, but I didn't give up. I continued and persisted into this, and it finally worked. Olive was much easier because I had her as a baby, so I followed the breeder's advice for a little while because she was a little baby, to continue with like a baby diet, and then slowly I changed, and then she was already eating chops, so that was fine. That was super easy. It was more the pellet situation that was a little bit more of a challenge, and now she loves it. Lucy was a very long process because she was used to eat junk, so that was a long process. But I'm telling you, don't give up. It's going to take a long time, and you're going to feel like your efforts are not going anywhere. But the goal there is to get your bird converted to a healthy diet, and it will happen if you persist and you don't give up and you're consistent at it. Not one week you do it, the other week you don't. No. You need to be consistent and weight your bird to make sure that it doesn't lose too much weight. Very important. So that's it for today's live. I hope you enjoyed it. And this is going to stay up on the YouTube channel. You can look at it as a replay. And don't forget to subscribe so that you receive the notification for the upcoming lives and videos and stuff like that. And come back to the channel either Thursday or Friday of next week, and every upcoming week, to look under the posts tab and see what are the topics option, and then just cast your vote on what you want me to talk about for that upcoming live. All right, take care, you guys. Bye-bye.